Yeah.
What about like cold therapy and hot? Like I see you guys doing all kinds of weird shit, and I think you guys are like exercising on the bottom of your pool and stuff like that sometimes. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. That's why I haven't come over in a long time.
You're scared?
So I'm like, I don't want to be subject to any of this stuff.
You don't want to drown?
Look, the research is really clear. Sauning is great for you. There's more and more data coming out around cold water immersion exposure, just getting cold and shivering, making yourself cold for a few minutes.
Brown fat.
I think one of the reasons, forget all that. We love that if you get hot and get cold, you will go to sleep no matter how stressed you are. So one of the feelings that we have is the bigger the engine, the bigger the set of brakes you need to have. And for us, we're lucky enough to have a sauna and a cold plunge in our house. We don't have to go anywhere. And no matter how stressed we are, we go sit in there. It's kind of dim. We have to talk. It's super hot. Then we get cold, and then it breaks us every single time. You can look at it simply as warming up and cooling down are two of the most expensive things your body does. Yeah. And if you swing back and forth, make your body do that, it's going to exhaust you. You're also going to become more effective at it. So if you end up in a cold environment or hot environment, you're going to be better at handling those things. You can look at it range of motion for your vasculature, just so that you can handle and have better circulation to your feet and your hands. But also, it's fun. It's super entertainment. So there's the J-Star.
There we go. I mean, I would just like to say, though, one other thing that is not always appreciated about the sauna and is that, man, we've had like some of the greatest and best like interactions and conversations with our friends in the sauna.
I thought you were going to say sex.
No. You already said genitals earlier, and I felt
sex
uncomfortable.
parties?
No, we use the sauna as like a social tool, like just as an example, not to make a sad example, but one of our dear friends lost his parent recently, and he and Kelly just sat in the sauna for an hour and a half, and they talked and connected and processed, and it just was, it's a phone free. You can't bring your phone in there, so it's just this lovely place to actually have some human connection, and whether that's with your spouse or your friends or whoever. So it's just like one of the things we love about the sauna. So how about you come down and sit in the sauna, and we won't even make you go in the pool. Both of you guys.
Is that a burger place still next to you guys?
No, it went out of business.
God damn, that place was good.
I know. And you were on the wall.
Grass-fed, grass-finished beef. That was awesome.
Wait, you're on the wall? For what? What'd you do?
They put like a picture of me squatting or something on there.
It was you guys came in one time, and then she took a photo, and they were like, world champions eat Wheezy's burgers.
Yeah.
And they had like a fat chicken was like their logo or something.
Yeah.
Of course, it's called Wheezy's. That's the way you used to breathe.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's all I could hear. Andrew, I sent you over a clip. We got like more of the scientific facts on the cold plunging. Andrew, could bring
Huberman
it up.
says that
this is from a guy that's in Huberman's lab, I think.
Oh God, hold on.
I just saw research that came out around cold water. They put military in the cold water, and guys had better sex. They had better subjective perceived readiness. So some of this is just can be entertainment. I think Michael Easter wrote a great book called The Comfort Crisis.
Yep.
And there's a reason like being a little bit uncomfortable, disrupting homeostasis is good for us. I think it's why some people don't like exercise. It's uncomfortable. So any way where we can find ourselves to be uncomfortable a little bit, I think, die a little bit every day. That's, getting cold is simple.
I think here's our clip.
Plunge probably 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. What I like to do is really keep my body guessing, and I'll just find somewhere to plunge naturally. If I'm walking out on a hike and I see a creek, it's cold outside, the creek's cold, I'll jump in and hit a plunge, See, the benefits to cold plunging are
Oh my God, I love his hair. I'm obsessed with his hair.
Where'd the sound go?
Oh, hey, is it still going?
It's cold plunge.
Yeah. My bad.
Your body's guessing on multiple levels. I actually created my own method for cold plunging. I call it iso plunge, and what I do is isolate a body part in the cold. You can do a hand at a time.
Science.
You can do a foot at a time. You can actually do it at home if you just open the freezer.
Look at his arms in the freezer.
I actually think I read somewhere that if you cold plunge regularly, you don't really even have to watch your diet or your exercise because your body's going to be
got all the facts right there.
Trying to stay warm. Yeah, I'll hit a plunge.
How do you guys
love this guy?
You've heard of how it affects inflammation, so like post-lifting cold plunging. How do you guys feel about that? Because some people are fighting against people cold plunging because of that partially. Power Project family, how's it going? Now, sleep is essential for your recovery and your performance, which is why we partner with 8 Sleep mattresses. We call them the Tesla of beds. Changes the temperature based off how you sleep. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, head over to 8sleep.com/powerproject, and at checkout, you guys will automatically save $150 off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Yeah,
I
Kelly.
would say that Huberman says, no, we actually started to realize that cold was blunting the body's response to adaptation. So it's blunting the adaptation response. So if you're trying to have, and we started to see this in a lot of our professional soccer teams, Premier Soccer, they were keeping some of the cold water immersion as far enough away from the training as they could, so that the athlete could have a natural response. We could maximize that and then get cold. So getting cold first thing in the morning when they've overnight sleep, they were finding, and they were using it sort of periodizing the cold.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd put it in, sometimes they'd want to wait on it. I think for the average person, if you can get cold and it's something you enjoy, do it when it works for you. Stop being, but if you're trying to get really strong, or you're trying to change some aspect of your physiology and that cold water immersion maybe limits that in some way, because that's really the limiting factor, then maybe you need to, again, just put it a little bit further away.
Yeah.
I think the only exception to that is we have athletes like at the CrossFit Games who are, it's 100 degrees there and their core temperature is really high. So jumping in to drop your core temperature after a hot run might be a really good way to speed up your ability to recover, because you're not spending all that energy cooling. You're spending that energy recovering. Again, I think we're like, well, I'm elite. I'm a 50-year-old middle-aged mountain bike guy with a fake knee. Like, I'll keep my cold plunge away from my 5 squats with 60 kilos. Don't want to blunt my adaptation. Like, I think we're a little precious.
Yeah.
What has been a message that maybe has been hard for you guys, like where you communicate it to people, but it seems like they're having a hard time to adapt to it? Is it the changing of eating more protein? Is it the sleep? Like, where do you find most people are just even with all the suggestions and saying like, hey, make your living room your kind of mobility area? Like, what do you think most people are struggling to actually adopt?
I'm sure Kelly will have an idea, but I think what I think, and it is also a challenge in our regular business, the Ready State, is to get people to care now about their range of motion. As you guys both know, a lot of people find us because they get injured. And that's sort of their first foray into,
or they've got pain that's limiting them from doing something.
Yeah, the pain that's they're injured or pain's limiting them. And I think this book is one of the ways we're trying to do this is to, teach people to care before they're injured or before they're, suffering from chronic pain. And so I think we hope we've taken a swing for the fences here with this book to try to make it really accessible and relatable and explain to people why they should care and why they should care about spending some time working on their range of motion even when they're 30 years old. Not just because you want to sit with your grandchild when you're 67, but because now it's going to reap a lot of benefits for your athletic performance or reduce your chances of injury or make sure you're pain-free. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to do it now at any age. But I think that's the biggest challenge is people kind of know they should care about nutrition and sleep, and breathing is becoming more of a thing with Wim Hof, and it's become kind of hip, so people are sort of aware of it. But I think it's getting people to care about their range of motion and really care about working on it now, because a lot of it is use it or lose it.
Range of motion, maybe even in just a sense of like being able to do most of the things that you're
And that's exactly what I mean.
Without pain.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I were to describe like what mobility is, to me, mobility is the ability to move freely and do the things you want to do without pain. I mean, to me, that's
And someone says, hey, let's play some volleyball, and you don't tear your Achilles tendon.
Exactly. Like you want to be able to do that off the couch, or you want to be able to go on a rafting trip with your family if that's what you're going to do this summer or whatever. You just want to be able to do what you want to do physically. So to me, that's what mobility actually is. What, a lot of the things we do are mobilizations, which are, soft tissue techniques and other mobilizations that help support mobility. But to me, that's really what mobility is to be able to do what you want to do with your body.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys, and we're going to keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.